Spring is coming. Next Wednesday, actually. So the weather's warming up. Best RC season coming, I think, because where I live, spring. Summer is far too hot. But the spring is going to be great. Rain is starting to die down here. So it's time to, I don't know, get some more rigs ready to go out and bash and crash. So I have a few projects lined up. Some aren't delivered yet. If you check my community post, you will see that there have been, there was a picture put up there with several different kits and boxes. So today, we're going to take a look at one. And I think this is the best, in a way. I mean, I'm a big Tamiya fan, big Kyosho fan. I like the classic stuff. But anybody who's into RTR, or you have a young kid and you want to learn how to build something, I think this is the best kit. Just to interrupt here, it's me from the future. I don't know. I don't think I'd actually recommend this to a new builder, someone who hasn't built before. Buy a Tamiya. Watch till the end of the video. Watch my video. You'll find out why at the end. Back to the video. It's kind of semi-kit, but the best kit, the best way to get started in RC building, for the money as well. So what we're going to look at today is the Gorgon. This kit costs the same as the RTR, only it's not RTR. So I think this is awesome. Big fan of building things. I wish Arrma, I wish Traxxas makes a few kits. Arrma, I think this is Arrma's first one in the last, well, maybe not the first one ever, but definitely the only one they've released in years and years. So really excited to get into this. I wanted this when it came out, and it wasn't for sale in my market. It took a couple months before it was sale. I know all the YouTubers have thrown this up. So today, we'll unbox it and we will assemble it. So we'll take this semi-assembled kit to full assembled version. So that's what we're doing today. I have one slight upgrade that I will put on this. And it's just a little stainless steel bracket to help mount the motor and protect the plastic. So I bought that. It's the only thing I'm adding to the Gorgon today. I think in the future, yeah, we'll throw brushless in there. I have 3 or 4 brushless motors and ESCs lying around, so we'll probably put brushless in there someday, but today we're going to assemble this, unbox it, assemble it. First, we'll just unbox it. I guess we got to pull that out. Well, we could look at the box. Bunch of pictures of the Gorgon. This is the black one because that is what the builder's kit or the semi-assembled kit has. It says awesome monster truck looks. 2-wheel drive, so it's not a real monster truck, I guess you would say. But here's all the parts. So all of these things are assembled. They're just not finished putting together. Some advertising from where I bought it. There's the chassis, waterproof lipo ready, quick release body mechanism. Oh yeah, I read about that. It's pretty cool. Yeah, so just a few things on the box. Let's get this open and see what we find inside. So when we open up the box, we get our instruction manual. We'll probably take a look at that today, even though I think a lot of things will be straightforward. Get our tires. Pretty nice. No foams in them. Keeps them light. I think if I upgrade, I will put foams. I do like foams in my tires, but no foams makes a nice light ride, and the wheels soak up the bumps, so it's kind of added suspension. Yeah. Smells disgusting. These are not good smelling tires, but they're very light. They're very thin. Like I can fold them all over the place. And the vent holes are in the tires themselves, not in the rims. So the air comes out quite easy. One, two vent holes. That would appear so. So we get 2 vent holes. Yeah, 2 vent holes. So we'll just take the tires out. There's nothing there. Next piece, very important piece, is the chassis. So there's the Gorgon chassis. I guess it goes that way actually. Upside down it says Arrma. I can get some support, scanning QR code. Nothing built on it, just the shell. It does feel quite stiff. Now I don't know if that slides apart in two pieces. I think it does, but it seems to be stuck together. Feels super stiff. Nice. Gearbox is already assembled. There is a gear in there and a bunch of grease. That'll show up on camera, but a big blob of grease. There's the gear inside, just covered. Nice. Okay. Another big thing in the chassis, another big thing in the box. There's a lot of stuff in here. It's the body. So there, we got our Gorgon body. Mounts are installed. Huge pin that goes underneath the chassis. I think that's a pretty good way to attach a body, front and back. A little bit thin. It's a little bit thin. Yeah, there's that pin. A little bit thin. So I may put some strengthening on the sides. I've seen them get broken online. It is quite a nice looking body, so it'd be a shame to ruin it right off the bat, but I like it. I like it all in black. I don't have many black vehicles, so that's cool. What else we got in here? We got a little box. I have a feeling this is the charger. So this one comes with the battery and charger. I'm just gonna rip everything open. Oh, there we go. What are we getting there? Oh, it is. It's on a USB-C. There's the battery charger. Wow. So that's kind of interesting. And I guess it does LiPo as well. We got a balance connector there. Wow. All right. I don't know if I'll use that. Incidentally, my main charger melted, so I might have to use this. I don't know if I have a connector for this battery for my other charger. All right. Well, let's throw that back in the box. We have our motor. It is a 550. I have those Relarlo brushless motors that are also 550, so they might fit in. We have our spur gear, gears, no slipper on this. The bearings are already installed. So that's the real thing about this kit. This is bag 6, by the way. Things are kind of put together. Those are put together already. Shocks are built. There, shocks are built already. All plastic, oil shocks. Feels alright. They'll work. Pretty big, about the same size. A little smaller than what comes on the LMT, but pretty big actually for a two-wheel drive vehicle. This is our front assembly. Or our rear assembly, I'm not sure. It might be the rear. So the the pins are already in. It's already semi-built. So I think for a brand new builder, this is, you've never built anything before, this is kind of like IKEA level. There's a lot of stuff. You just have to put a couple screws in and you're done. You're not cutting things off spurs, fitting them, finding all the hardware. Half the hardware is already put in, like this for example. So all the pieces are essentially this way. Every bag. Bag 15, bulkhead assembled, bumpers, they just bolt on. Here we have the front A-arm, so another example, semi-assembled. The ball is already installed, the screws installed, and we have the steering cup put on. So, it'll make this build quite quick. I doubt I will have ever built anything as fast as a Gorgon. Rear drive shaft, rear upright, drive shaft, hex, everything is already put together. So it just takes one pin and one screw, and in these bags, the screw and the pin that matches this is also in bag 4. So you're not searching through screw bags with multiple screws. It's the same thing again. Pins are in there. Servo has the servo saver on it. Steering linkage already attached. So pretty nice stuff. Now I'm going to build it. We'll go through all these pieces as I build it. But just what you get in here, it's kind of nice. You'll know how your truck goes together because you put enough of it together. So this is the rear diff, and I've been told all that's inside is grease. It feels quite heavy. Could be the bearings because these are plastic drive shafts. So I'm going to actually take this apart and look inside. There's a seal on it. I can see it in blue. So I think that'll hold oil. So I'm going to put oil in there because it just doesn't really feel like there's oil in there. I don't know yet. So we'll be opening that up as we build too. So yeah, quite a few pieces. Some bubble wrap here. Oh, we got our battery. It is a large hump pack, Naimai, and there's the battery bay door. So lots of cool stuff. We got our AA batteries for the controller. This must be the controller. I know the controller's not going to be super awesome. ESC, our speed controller. Don't know what brand that'll actually be. Spectra. Yeah, Spectra. Jeez. Why am I doubting it? Of course it's Spectrum. So there's our Spectrum brushed or brushless. No, just brushed. There's only 2 wires. Brushed ESC and receiver. So if I go brushless on this build, if I change it, then I can't use this awesome radio. So let's take a look at the awesome radio. This is the cheapest Spectrum radio I've ever seen. But once again, if you're buying this for a kid or you've never built anything before, this is actually pretty good. Pretty easy to use. It's got foam on the wheel. That's pretty high class, that. All right, so I haven't shown you every piece, but you guys get the picture. You guys get the picture. Anything else in this bubbles? No. So I want to get to work and put this together. Okay, so we actually have 3 books that came in that bag. Get started, technical pack, and get assembled. So this is the normal guide to the Gorgon. We don't actually need that. This is how to do adjustments. It's actually just kind of a pamphlet. How to adjust, how to put grease in, adjust your spur gear, your pinion, and if parts blow up, it's called the technical pack. And this is the one we need today. Get assembled. Well, they even include thread lock. This is tire, a brush. I wonder what we're painting with the paintbrush. I don't think we need that actually. So we actually start with the chassis, of course, and then we start with the rear diff. So let me grab the rear diff. I'm just throw the chassis out here, I guess. And we have our rear diff, or only diff. I keep calling it a rear diff. It's just the diff. We're going to open that up. Let's open this up and see what's inside. So it should be pretty easy. I don't know how they're attached. There's no pin in these. That's interesting. Can I just pull that off? No. So I don't know how how the axles come off, but I can get my wrench in there, and we'll take that apart. So let's see. So if there is fluid in here, we'll know, or we should know by now, it should be leaking. But it's not, so I think it is grease. Yeah, there's grease in there. So let's get that finished. And as we can see, it's packed with grease. We do have a seal, and because we have that seal, I think we'll put fluid in there. Nice metal gears. So we'll get the grease cleaned out, and then we'll put some fluid in that system. There we go. Oh, so we'll try and get that cleaned off. Hopefully there's a seal on the other side so the oil doesn't drain. All right, let's get that grease out of there. All right, that's mostly cleaned out. A little grease won't hurt. And we'll put some diff oil in. So I think we'll use really thick, super thick. I like the thick stuff. So here we have, it says shock oil, but it's not. It's 500, so 50,000 CS. This stuff is basically glue. And it won't even come out through this. Oh, a little bit came out. So we'll see if we can fill that up. Let's put this gear back on. It's the same both ways. Let's see if we can fill this up. Yeah, it won't even squeeze out. All right, so I've made a mess with that before. So we won't do that today. Let's just take the stem out. There we go. So we'll just pour it in direct from the bottle. I don't know how that shows up on camera, but it's a big, slow mass. Sticky. Ugh. Okay, let's turn that around a bit. Put more in. That looks about full. Now, I just this. Yeah. As you can see, it is overflowing in slow motion. I gotta wipe some of that off. So, bag 3, we're going to be putting this in somewhere, right here. Any particular direction? This way. And it says there is grease for that, so I don't know if that's actually in the kit. I do have Super Lube silicone grease. I think that's what they're using. I'm going to throw some of that on. We'll add to their grease. So I have for my boats. Super Lube. There. That's greasy. All right, so the next step is bag 3. Is this part. And front to back. They show it going in from the bottom, but of course you build this way. They should flip these in the pictures. But be aware, they have it set right side up all the time. I'll put this here so you can see. This clip goes to the back, so it just sets in like that, like so. should just set in like so. Little squeeze. No. It'd be almost easier if it wasn't all put together. I started this video saying this might be the best for new builders. However, that's kind of annoying. So if you look at this chassis, it's separated a little bit. Needs some pressure to go together. This has to fit exactly, and it does not want to do that. So I don't know, if I was a kid, this might get kind of frustrating. Come on. Don't make me get my hammer. Does not want to go. Oh, finally got it. Oh my god. Okay, that was a struggle. Here we go, screws. So the front part is not seated correctly. Oh, I got the back part seated. Wow, guys, this is not as easy as it should be. Alright, so now let's flip the page. We got through that battle. I think once the like this end piece is screwed in and the two sides are held together at more spaces, this will go on and off much more easily. I mean, it's kind of like if you look at the front, it's the same. There is bolts holding it together, but all the pieces that hold it together aren't there yet. So I think that's the struggle. So imagine the front's also going to be a little bit difficult. Let's go on to bag 4, and we're putting on the drive shafts on the rear. So we're sticking to the rear. They're putting on the stand-ups. There's bag 4, and I imagine we'd do bag 5 as well. So once again, these pieces are really easy to assemble. Plastic, lots of plastic, 2 screws and a pin. So we'll get bag 4 out. And this piece, quite simply, which way do they have this oriented? Does it matter, left and right? Imagine that goes forward. So this piece will slot in. And connect there with a pin. So relatively simple. Get a pin out. Put our pin through. So the holes lined up. Pin slides right in there. It's captured at the front. Little screw will go in here. Holds that in place. This is to hold the upper suspension arm. There, all assembled. So I'll just go ahead and do the other side. Alright, time to move on to the next page. So the next part is installing the motor. So this is a little bit more complicated. Get our 550 motor. Remember to put in this hot racing bracket. Gear, screws, some of these bags. So we put the motor on before we put on the pinion gear. So motor goes in from this side. And then we line up the screw holes. Oh, I have screws here. Maybe we'll use these ones. That makes sense. We won't use those. We'll use the hot racing external mount. I'll put thread lock on those ones. So that just locks in place and saves the plastic from wearing as you tighten screws or change the motors. I think it's useful upgrade. Next step is this spur gear and slipper. I just realized looks like there's a slipper pad. One side is slipper, and we're gonna guess that that's all adjusted correctly. Just guess that. So that slides in this way. That's about it. So that's installed. Now we need to install our pinion. There's no Loctite on the grub screw, so we'll add some thread locker. We'll just use this. Alright, so everything's sat in there loose. Now we want to line up our pinion and our spur gear to where it's not too tight. There's some rock in it. So when you set your mesh of your pinion, if you hold the spur slipper, there should be a little bit of play before it engages the other gear. And then your mesh is usually pretty good, though I have made mistakes in the past. There should be a little rock in there where I can slightly jiggle that without moving my spur. That's probably a good mesh. It'll go tighter, but I don't need it tighter. Alright, so that's together. Now, peg 7, gear cover. Also ESC, but I got a bind plug. ESC receiver. So this gear cover, you can take these screws out, you can adjust your slipper. It's pretty easy, it just goes together. And use the short screws. Short screws for the gear cover. Alright, gear cover's installed. Motor's installed. Everything's tightened up. Now we install the ESC. And the ESC goes up here. So how do they arrange this? This goes in here. These stupid. So they want you to go in the side. I missed that side channel and mount it forward. So I've mounted that in the wrong spot. But I think I'll just leave it there. Doesn't matter. This is our bind plug. We don't want to lose that. Use those. Now it's time for the front A-arms. This is bag 9. Bag 9. Okay, we'll manage that somehow. So now we gotta assemble the front suspension, and it has that same issue with the chassis spreading. So let's see. Okay. These are rights. So with the instructions, they don't show you a top-down view, so it's kind of hard to see. I believe the slanted part goes forward like that. We got an arrow on there. We'll do the right. This plate. Same issue. Super struggling. On. Alright, so this is a real problem. I'm going to put a little grease on this one too. Alright, so I use it's a 360 tripod, little grease, got it in. Now, put this back in place. Listen, please. And 312, 312, they're all the same. Screw that in. And this piece should go on really easily now. No problem. Bag 10. Alright, move on to bag 10 and 11. They have the steering arms and the servo installed in this picture. So not only should they show things from the bottom, because you're not holding it this way when you build it, they shouldn't have parts installed that you haven't installed yet. Just a little maybe confusing if someone's wondering, what are those things? Those are your steering arms that come off the servo, and it's step. Where is that step? Oh, I don't even see that step. Did I miss a step? Oh, I skipped. Oh, me criticizing the book. I skipped step 8.
The reason that bad things happen to you is because you're a dumbass.
Alright, let's do step 8. We've done step 9. Let's leave those. Missed a step. I thought Arrma made a mistake there. So we should install the servo. Oops. So this would be pretty... I'm going to assume it's centered. It's kind of a weird servo saver. I'll assume it's centered. The servo goes in. I'm assuming this way. It fits in with the hole. And it screws down from the top. 12 millimeter and some washers. Okay, so that's installed. This is really easy. Just flip this over. That just goes I believe in there. How do they do that? Slide it in. Slide it in this way. Alright, step 8's finished. Now, step 10. So that's pretty easy to install. It's 2 bolts, or one bolt, 1 screw, a pin, and you're done. Do the other side. Really? Okay, so this one is on upside down. That's interesting. Take that apart. On to bag 12. Shock tower, rear shock tower. Thank you. No, forgot. Okay, so the rear shock tower goes in. Also, super difficult. So it doesn't just slot in like you think it would. So it doesn't just slot in like you think it would. Oh. Finished. This chassis is super tough plastic, but my God, is it hard to screw things in. I'm rethinking the idea of this being a great beginner kit. I doubt most beginners would have power tools. I'm not using them. I have really good wrenches. I don't know what's included in the kit. Little Allen keys. I cannot imagine assembling this using these Allen keys. I think that wouldn't work. Alright, next step. Shocks. Bag 16. Oh, wait. Where's the... What did I miss? Oh, I missed the front shock tower. I'm going to put the front shock tower on. Da, da, da. All right, got the front suspension on. We're getting close. My hands are killing me. These plastics are pretty hard to tap into. I'll put the back shocks on. I believe that's the next step. I keep missing steps. Yes. X17. All right, so the suspension is on, looking good. What do we gotta do now? Front and rear bumpers. So front bumper, rear bumper. We're almost there, folks. Let's see, that looks like a rear, that looks like a front. Let's see, how does this work? That's got to go in those holes. $35 goes in from this side. Okay. Oh. All right, bumpers are on. Looking good. Tires. Body. Battery. Well, looks like we're done. All right, we're done. I built this. It works. I got the nickel metal hydride battery in it. I ran it around the house a little bit. Amazing truck. I can't wait to take this outside and drive it. I threw some extra spacers in the shocks. They seem kind of weak. I think the diff oil upgrade, I think that's a good idea. Throw diff oil in the back. Would I recommend anyone buy this? Well, yeah, if you like buying things, if you like buying things, buy it. Now, if you like building RC cars, definitely, yeah, go for it, buy it. I mean, I was frustrated many times. I was using hand tools. I'll talk about that in a second. That I was frustrated many times, but still, I'd rather build my RC cars than buy RTRs. That's just the way I am. Now, as far as the build and how it went, pretty simple. Everything is pretty simple. It's not a complicated build whatsoever. I don't know, like it's a little bit faster because certain things were assembled, but honestly, that wasn't what took a lot of time. So, say a little bit about the truck. I think it is solid. This is going to be a very capable basher. Be cool to see one come in 4-wheel drive, though with the motor setup, I don't know how you do that. Maybe a different chassis, but the same idea. Very plastic mini monster truck. It'd be cool, Arrma, if you make one. Now, the real frustrating thing about this, and why I do not recommend it to new builders, is mainly to do with this clamshell or split chassis design. When you have to put parts on that tie in both sides. Starts with this bottom plate. So if you watch the whole video, you know that was hard to get in. The shock tower that ties in both sides was hard to get in. This metal plate in the front was hard to get in. Everything that had to screw into both sides to help hold it together was a huge pain. So that's number one. So that's not really friendly. Much easier to build, like I just built a wild one. No frustrating part to that. So that would be quite frustrating for a new builder. Secondly, I build it with hand tools, and I have good Aeromax tools that work fairly well. I almost script one screw off because this chassis is made with like carbon infused plastics, which are really good and really rigid. However, they're really hard to make new screw holes into with a hand tool. So in this kit, what they give builders or new builders, people brand new to it, brand new to the hobby. Like the tools provided in this kit, what they give builders brand new to the hobby. Here's a kit to build. They give them these simple Allen keys. There, I guarantee you, there is no way on God's green earth that you could build this truck using these dinky little Allen keys. It would never work. I didn't use this for anything, but the gun, the Arrma gun's kind of cool, and it would work for bolts, but that's all you use it for. Most of the kit, you'd be using the 3 Allen keys. Hopefully they'll even show up on camera. They're so piddly and small. But if you're using these 3 Allen keys, there's no way you could build this. There's no way you could put a screw into unthreaded plastics like this. Now, I was using my good tools, and there's lots of times where I'd be pushing on it as I'm turning and changing hands, and my hands would be red and raw from turning it, and I was like, oh, I should just use my drill, because I do have bits and a drill and everything. I can drill everything together. I don't like to do that, especially when I'm putting something together. I think I've only used the drill once on my Losi MX Pro Moto. But yeah, if you are actually going to go build one of these, probably use power drills. Even really good hand tools, it's too difficult. It's quite hard on the hands. Anyway, that's it. As far as, like, I wouldn't recommend it to new builders. I wish I could, because it's quite simple. It's just, it's a struggle. All those pieces that connect both sides and getting screws into this ultra hard gray plastic is incredibly painful. Now, as far as the truck goes, I haven't driven it yet. I think it's going to be amazing. I just built my squash van there like a month or 2 ago. That's really fun. This is going to follow in that vein, I'm sure. I have the 9mm battery in it, the nickel metal hydride. I have a charged 2S LiPo. I'm going to throw in, we'll run 2S in it. But I'm going to save that for the next video. I'm completely tired. It took a few hours. It took longer than it should, because I had to stop because my hands hurt, and I ran out of batteries for my camera, and then I charged them, and then I wasn't charging them fast enough, and yada yada yada. So I'm tired for today, but I'm very, very happy with the Gorgon. Actually, I'm very happy with this truck. It looks super cool. I think it's an excellent design. Gonna be totally fun to rip. Battery's a bit thin. Other than that, like, and I like the black. I'm glad I actually got the black on black. It looks mean. So very, very happy with it. Hopefully you enjoyed that video. I think since they cost the exact same amount of money to buy the RTR with the batteries and the charger and all that, I think I would recommend, even if you want to build, you want to change things, you want to put some diff oil in the diff, which I did. I think if you bought the RTR and then you take screws out, they're already threaded. It's going to be a much more enjoyable experience than threading everything through that plastic for the first time. And it costs the exact same amount of money. So if you're new to RC, I'm going to recommend you buy the RTR, because this thing is solid. I can already tell. It's going to be super fun. There's loads of videos online. It's going to be super fun to drive. And if you really want to get into building, I was hoping this was the ticket. But obviously, modern vehicles, modern designs, these big trucks, they're built with motorized hand tools in mind for constructing them, or maybe robots. I don't know how Arrma builds them. But they're not really designed as a kit. So it's kind of like they just took parts from the factory off the line and bagged them. There was one odd situation where the front steering cup was on upside down. So that was kind of odd. Other than that, no real issues. Everything fits fine, except for trying to fit anything that fits both sides. looks cool. I'm excited to go drive this. So next video, we'll have this outside, and I'll try not to break the body. I might throw some strengthening tape, some Gorilla tape or something in behind. I don't want to bust this body apart. I am thinking about painting Arrma in white on the chassis. Since you can see this chassis, I think that'd look pretty cool. It said Arrma, and you could read it in white. Anyway, that's all for today. If you haven't subscribed, do so. If you want to support the channel, there's a link down below for buymeacoffee.com. You can buy me a coffee. A couple people have. It's been really appreciated. And if you do, you buy a cup of coffee, I'll mention your name in the next video. So many thanks. Enjoy RCing. See you next time.
Yeah.